Let's delve into the intricate world of Kuruluş Osman and explore the very essence of what makes its antagonists such formidable and compelling figures. The series has consistently delivered villains who are not mere caricatures of evil but rather complex individuals driven by their own ambitions, ideologies, and deeply personal vendettas. This complexity is precisely what elevates them beyond simple obstacles for Osman Bey and his Alps. They become reflections of the very challenges and temptations that Osman himself must navigate in his quest to forge a state. As we approach the 192nd episode, it's worth considering the patterns and characteristics that have defined these dangerous foes and how these might manifest in the trials to come. One of the most potent aspects of Kuruluş Osman's villains is their strategic acumen. They are often masters of manipulation, capable of weaving intricate webs of deceit that extend far beyond the battlefield. Think about how many times Osman Bey has faced an enemy who doesn't just rely on brute force, but on exploiting internal divisions within the Ke tribe or an alliance of convenience with other regional powers. Could we be seeing a similar strategy unfold in the lead-up to episode 192? Perhaps a seemingly dormant conflict will be reignited by a cunning antagonist who understands that the greatest weakness can often be found within. What are your thoughts on which existing rivalries might be exploited next? Share your theories in the comments below. Furthermore, the most dangerous villains in Kuruluş Osman are those who possess a profound understanding of their own strengths and, crucially, Osman Bey's perceived weaknesses. They study his moves, learn from his past victories, and adapt their tactics accordingly. This creates a dynamic game of cat and mouse where each victory for Osman is often met with a new, more sophisticated threat. Is it possible that the current antagonist, or perhaps a new one emerging, has identified a vulnerability in Osman's growing power or his alliances that we haven't fully appreciated yet? Could the sheer scale of his ambitions become a target in itself? We've seen how responsibility can be a heavy burden. Might a villain attempt to use that very burden against him? Another layer to their dangerous nature is often their ideological conviction. Many of the antagonists are not driven solely by greed or a thirst for power, but by a genuine belief in their own cause, however twisted it may seem to us or to Osman Bey. This makes them incredibly resilient and difficult to deter. They see themselves as heroes in their own narratives, fighting for their own people or their own vision of order. This conviction can inspire fierce loyalty among their followers, creating a formidable force that is hard to break. As we look towards episode 192, could we see a villain whose motivations are so deeply rooted in a conflicting ideology that compromise becomes impossible, forcing Osman into an even more difficult confrontation? How does the series make you empathize, if at all, with the motivations of its villains? It's a fascinating aspect to discuss. The personal connection that villains often have to Osman Bey or his inner circle also significantly amplifies their threat level. When the enemy is not just a nameless, faceless entity but someone with a shared history, a past grievance, or even a familial tie, the stakes are immediately raised. These personal vendettas add an emotional depth to the conflict, making the betrayals more painful and the confrontations more charged. Could episode 192 introduce a new layer to an existing rivalry, perhaps revealing a hidden connection or a past betrayal that will force Osman to confront not just a military threat but an emotional one as well? Or could a seemingly loyal ally be harboring a secret resentment that is about to surface? The lines between friend and foe have always been blurry in this world. Moreover, the villains in Kuruluş Osman are often adept at exploiting the geopolitical landscape of the era. They form shifting alliances, play empires against each other, and understand the value of intelligence and espionage. Their reach can extend far beyond their immediate armies, influencing trade routes, instigating rebellions, or even attempting to assassinate key figures. As Osman's influence grows and he interacts with more powerful entities like the Byzantines or other Turkoman beyliks, the nature of the threats he faces also evolves. Could the upcoming episode feature a villain whose danger lies not in their direct military might, but in their ability to manipulate these larger political currents to isolate Osman or turn his allies against him? What kind of international intrigue do you foresee playing a role soon? Let us know your predictions. The element of surprise and the unknown is also a consistent weapon in the arsenal of Kuruluş Osman's antagonists. Just when Osman Bey and his companions believe they have a situation under control, a new, unforeseen threat often emerges, or an old enemy returns with a new, more dangerous plan. This keeps the narrative tense and unpredictable. Are we perhaps underestimating a seemingly defeated foe who might be plotting a resurgence? Or is there a new power player waiting in the wings whose identity and motives are yet to be revealed, poised to strike when Osman least expects it? The series excels at these dramatic turns. Finally, the most dangerous villains are those who force Osman Bey to confront his own limitations and to grow as a leader and as an individual. They push him to his breaking point, test his faith, and compel him to make difficult choices that have far-reaching consequences. It is through overcoming these formidable adversaries that Osman truly forges his path and solidifies his vision for a future state. So, as we anticipate episode 192, the question isn't just what new dangers await, but how these dangers will shape Osman Bey's journey. What kind of leader will he need to become to overcome the challenges that lie ahead? What sacrifices might be required? These are the questions that keep us invested in his struggle. The enduring appeal of Kuruluş Osman lies not just in the heroism of its protagonist, but in the compelling nature of those who stand against him. Their intelligence, conviction, and often deeply personal motivations make them more than just obstacles. They are integral to the drama and the thematic depth of the series. As we look forward to the next chapter, the legacy of these dangerous villains promises more intrigue, more challenges, and ultimately a more profound understanding of the sacrifices required to build a dream. What are you most anticipating in terms of the villain dynamics in the upcoming episodes? Join the discussion in the comments.